What is up, guys? It is your friend, your pal, Mr. Larry Singleton here. And today, we're going to do something special. The people have asked me, they've requested it, and I'm going to follow suit or through. Either one will work, right? I think. Follow suit. Follow through. You know what? Because it's Mission Impossible, I'm going to say suit. Because Ethan Hunt wears suits in the latter half of the series. So, without further doo-doo, without any delay, let's get into it. We're going to talk about every single Mission Impossible film. From front to back. We're just diving right into it. We're just diving into this like a helicopter in the Austrian Alps. So, I have a list of my ranking here in front of me. Real autism hours over here, okay? I have it all ranked, but it's not on the screen. On the screen, you are only going to see the way I do it. The way I choose to present it to you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This one, Mission Impossible 2, is the worst one, okay? Every Mission Impossible fan knows this. I mean, I've seen a couple people online, they're like, oh, this is personally, for my personal opinion, I love this. I would put it, like, higher up. I don't know what everyone... Those people are anomalies. And anyway, this is my personal opinion, so I would just rank Mission Impossible 2 the lowest. Now, I'm not saying poopy on the screen here. I've ranked it poopy, but that is not... Like, that's putting it harshly. I wouldn't call this movie a terrible movie, but I wouldn't recommend this movie to people, okay? It starts off, in the desert. Tom Cruise is just walking around. He's just looking at stuff, and he goes, how did I get myself into this one again? But it's like, it's only part 2. So, like, you haven't gotten yourself into a lot of adventures yet. So I don't know why you're laughing at everything. That type of humor would have been funnier later on in the series. And furthermore, I believe that Mission Impossible 2 does this thing where it tries to lure you in with charm. Like, it tries to make up for the lack of budget, or I don't want to say lack of budget, but the ambition did not catch up to the mechanics of what they were capable of doing yet. So it tries to seduce you with, like, there's a romantic subplot that nobody cares about. You gotta look at this girl for, like, 50 minutes that you don't even care about. It's fun, but it's just not... Mission Impossible 2, we don't need it. Now, this is gonna be a controversial pick, okay? I might lose some of you with this. But I'm going to go ahead and put Ghost Protocol as mid. Now, the reason I say this is not because the movie is, again, the language at the side here where it says poopy and mid, that's a bit harsh. But it's not because it's mid. It's just, you have to think about this from the structure of the whole series. So compared to the other ones, it is mid. But if you watch that by itself, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. But, like, I mean, you're not going to sit down and just watch Ghost Protocol by yourself. Like, alone. Okay? If you're doing this, like a gangster, and you're doing it, you sit down for a week, or, like, one night if you're unemployed, and you just watch all of them, Ghost Protocol is not going to stick out to you. It might. But I had a discussion about this with a friend, and he's like, oh, some of the sequences in this movie are my favorite thing ever. Listen, if you sat down and watched this in 2011, like, for its day, it was great. And some of it is good now. Like, it's not bad. You got a woman wearing a green dress. You can't get any better than that. For its day. But as we shall see, it did get better than that. And coming in at third worst best. I should have done this from best to worst. You know what? Maybe I might switch it. Actually, you know what? No. I'm just going to barrel through. I got to lock in. Bro. Okay. So, this is going to be... I don't know if this is controversial. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will certainly tell you this. Mission Impossible 8. I'm putting it as mid. Final Reckoning, it wasn't that good. I'm not going to lie to you. It just wasn't that good. It was like all exposition. It was like people talking. And they had this like cliche scene where, I'm not even going to spoil it, but like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just complete lackluster efforts. For a Mission Impossible film, I expected more. Like halfway through the movie, everyone in the theater was like, oh, it's going to be one of these types of sequels where it's like they show clips of everything that already happened. They put cut scenes to a person before so that you know, oh, that guy's related to that guy, and it's... I get that they were trying to do fan service and like make people happy about being invested in the series, but just wasn't good. It was entertaining, but especially coming off hot from the previous one in 2023, this one was unimpressive. The Entity wants me to talk shit about Mission Impossible 8. Okay, third best. So, this tier, I would put as... No. I'm still in the mid tier, I think. So the mid tier, this is what I would do. Mission Impossible 1. So this is how it is. So 8, 7, 6, 5. Yep, that makes sense. 8, 7, 6, 5. And Mission Impossible 1. Why did I say that? Okay, because it's just better. Mission Impossible 1 is better than 8, 4, and 2 combined. No, that's taking it too far. No, I would say it's just better because it didn't have to be as lazy as the final one, and because it's the first time you're seeing stuff, it's just more exciting than like Mission Impossible 2, for example. And sure, Ghost Protocol probably has more expensive, cool shit happening, but like the first one, listen, I got into mechanical keyboards because of the first film. There was nothing quite like hearing the clickety-clackety sounds of this guy typing on a keyboard in the first film. That was just my favorite stuff, man. And again, this is all personal opinion, so I could be wrong to you, but I'm right to me. So yeah, Mission Impossible, I mean, listen, the proof that I'm right and everyone around me is wrong is that in the final film, they show clips of this dude hanging from the wire from the first, like that is an epic, I'm trying to think of the perfect word here. It's just a classic film scene that is so good that it was repeated in the final film because I think they realized there's no topping this. That was my problem with the final film, is that they just kept going back to the well of what they had already done so well. No pun intended. Wait, that's not even a pun. That doesn't make any sense. They kept going back to the well of what they did well. I don't think that's a pun. That's just wordplay. Is it a pun? You be the judge. Okay, so third best. Actually, no, I think we're still in the mid tier. We're still in the mid tier. Now, this is pretty funny because it makes the whole series look like it's all mid. But you have to remember, this is how I ranked it on by itself. Like without the technology shit here. I ranked it 8, 7, 6, 5. So just read it like that. Okay? So now, coming in at the next place, we got Mission Impossible 3. Again, mid is too harsh of a word, but that's fourth place. I say Mission Impossible 3 is the fourth best one in the series because PSH, bro. I think he was the best villain out of all of them. I would go that far. Acting, the best. The sociopath stuff, the best. Chilling, macabre, cold, sinister. Just all the words. I think his performance in Mission Impossible 3 elevated the series to something beyond. Oh, I just said series, and Siri just went off on my computer here. Yes. His performance, PSH, God bless, rest in peace. If I could go back in time, I would save him. And then we could work together to save James Gandolfini. I think he passed away first, right? PSH? Either way, whoever passed away first, we would help the guy that came after. That would be the mission. We would use the entity. Okay, so yes, his performance elevated the series to something beyond what it was already. Before his entrance into the series, I'm going to keep on belaboring the point about Philip Seymour Hoffman, because this guy was just he took this role more seriously than I believe anyone else in the franchise. Maybe the only other person to take it serious, is arguably Tom Cruise. But his acting, I mean, we already saw what he was able to do, 900 times. And after a while, I'm not going to lie, watching this guy run at top speed gets tiring. We need to change the pace of certain things, okay? Now, here's the other thing, is Mission Impossible 3 also has wife/girlfriend shit. It gives Tom Cruise something to do there. And I don't know if you're like me, but that stuff is very boring, and I do not care about wives or girlfriends in movies. It would be like, let's say you're watching a porno, and someone starts jumping out of helicopters, and shooting and jumping off of trains and stuff. You would be so confused. You would just be like, this is not what I sat down to watch. Who is putting Mission Impossible in my pornography? You know what I mean? So, Mission Impossible 3 is fourth place. Now we're in the next tier. Third best here, okay? Third best. So, which one was the fifth one again? I think it's Rogue Nation, right? Is that Rogue Nation? I just took screen caps off of Google, and this is like the French poster. I believe this is Rogue Nation, because that's when he's on the airplane and stuff, right? I think so. Anyway, either way. I probably messed this whole list up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm right. Oh, I know why I messed it up. I think I put too much in mid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Mission Impossible 5 is the third best in the franchise. Okay? This is not the best that they were capable of yet, but they were getting there. And what I mean by that is this one you're gonna see, dude. Okay, this one kind of messes me up. These last two, I would say this is the greatest Mission Impossible film, and this is the second best. The first one, the one that I put in first place, is the sixth one, and the second place is the seventh one, Dead Reckoning. But this could easily be this for me, because they're just so good. But I would, if I had to, I would say Fallout is the best. For me, the reason why Fallout is so good, and I think many people would agree, is that I've consulted a lot of autistic people about this, okay? My friends. We talk about this. This is all we talk about. We sit around and we discuss what's your Mission Impossible ranking from jump to finish. And we have all said that Fallout is the moment when the franchise became something truly special. Like, there's two big moments. PSH in the third one and Fallout. There was something really special that happened where it was just like wall-to-wall stunts. There's like 4 or 5 big moments in this movie, and it does not let up. It just grabs you by the nutsack, and it just squeezes. And it feels delightful. I don't know how to describe that in any other way, but that's how I would put it. And the second place, Dead Reckoning, the reason why I put it, for me personally, second place, is it had less bangers. Like, the moments in the seventh one, you gotta sit through a lot of, like, nonsense before it gets good. But when it gets really good, it's great. But it just takes a while to get there. Those set pieces at the second half of the film are truly something special. It's worth rewatching. That's the thing about the first. This is a great way to measure how good of an action film it is if you feel the inclination to check your phone and you're not like fully locked in. That's a sign that the movie is losing you, and it's not that exciting. If you feel in your brain that something more exciting is happening in your phone, first of all, it means that you're stupid and undisciplined, and you need to get off your phone and go for a walk outside. Call your grandmother if she's still alive. Tell her that the entity wanted you to call her, but you would have called her anyway because you love her so much. Phones. What was I talking about? Phones. If you feel the inclination to go on your phone in an action movie, it's a sign that the movie isn't very good. And for Fallout, I was locked in. Okay? I was locked in. Dead Reckoning, the whole first half of the movie, you could just like be on your phone. I'm talking about if you're at home, not in the movie theater. But if you're at home, checking your email, whatever, and you're watching Dead Reckoning, first, the scenes where they're just like giving you exposition, very boring, not gonna lie. But the second half of that film, Dead Reckoning, when there's like a million things happening at once, that's when the Mission Impossible franchise is at its peak. Alright? Now, let me consult with the entity. I need to consult with the entity. Is my list correct? Alright, I'm just playing around. Alright, so that's my list. That's it. So this is how it is, okay? If you want to know complete ranking, it goes in order 6, 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 4, 2. That's how I did it. 6, 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 4, 2. So let's just have a quick summary. 2, worst one in the series. 4, it's debatable. That's just me being, that's my quirk. This one, in fact, I would even put this one lower. This is like interchangeable with this here for me, you know? Lower. In fact, I'm just gonna... Nah, I would put that there, actually. 1, even this is like interchangeable here for me. Like with 3. But this is like a rough guideline, okay? That's like a rough guideline. 3, the first big moment when the series became truly historic. This one, it was alright. This one, second place. 2018 here, this one, this is the second big moment where the franchise was like, it was popping off. And the second place here for Dead Reckoning, I believe that was the longest film in the franchise at the time. But, as I said, it didn't really earn the running time, and you felt the inclination to check your phone quite a bit at the beginning. Alright, I have consulted the entity, and the entity has told me that my list is correct. This is the official order, okay? 6, 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 4, 2. The end.